Welcome back to Motivational Journey. There will come a time in your life when everything feels broken. Your plans fail, your circle changes, your confidence shakes, and the world feels heavy. And in that moment, you have two choices: stay broken, or rebuild yourself. When life breaks you down, the first and most powerful decision you will ever make is the choice to rebuild instead of remaining where you fell. Pain is inevitable. Every person, no matter how strong or successful, faces moments where life shakes their identity, confidence, dreams, and plans. But what separates those who rise from those who stay defeated is not luck, nor talent, nor resources. It is the decision to rise again. That decision changes everything. When you choose to rebuild, you reclaim control over your life. You stop allowing circumstances, people, or failures to define who you are. Instead, you decide who you will become. It is not an easy choice. Staying broken sometimes feels safer because pain is familiar, and the unknown feels terrifying. Comfort loves keeping you stuck. The world will tell you to accept defeat, to accept the version of yourself created by past mistakes or heartbreaks. Yet deep inside, there is a voice whispering that you are meant for more, that your story isn't finished here. And listening to that voice requires courage. Choosing to rebuild is choosing growth over comfort, strength over excuses, discipline over distraction, and hope over fear. It's choosing to take responsibility for your life, even when things weren't your fault. Yes, someone may have hurt you. Yes, life may have been unfair. Yes, circumstances may have crushed you. But staying broken does not heal you, it only prolongs the pain. Rebuilding is not pretending nothing happened. It is acknowledging the pain, feeling it, learning from it, and then deciding that it will not be the end of your story. You may not fix everything overnight. Healing is slow, growth is uncomfortable, progress is invisible at first. But by simply deciding to rebuild, you activate the power of change. With that one choice, your mindset shifts from victim to fighter, from hopeless to determined, from lost to rebuilding piece by piece. You do not rebuild because the world believes in you. You rebuild because you believe in the possibility of who you can become. You rebuild for your future self, the one who will look back one day with pride and say, "I didn't give up on myself." And understand this: rebuilding does not mean going back to who you were. It means becoming someone stronger, wiser, and more resilient than before. Broken pieces can be reshaped into something more powerful, more beautiful, and more unshakable. You are not rebuilding the same version of you. You are building a greater one. Every strong person you admire once stood where you stand, hurt, confused, lost, uncertain. But they made a choice. They rose. You can too. Your life can change the moment you decide it will. No matter how heavy your heart feels right now, no matter how dark your days seem, remind yourself, you still have the power to rebuild. You still have the power to stand again. You still have the power to rise. The first step is deciding you will. Rebuilding yourself never begins in a place of comfort or confidence. It begins in the quiet, painful corners of life, where truth becomes unavoidable and emotions become loud. Before strength comes honesty. Before growth comes discomfort. The moment you decide to rebuild, you must first confront the reality of where you are and who you have become. That requires courage most people avoid. It means facing your fears instead of hiding behind excuses. It means acknowledging the habits that destroyed your peace, the choices that delayed your progress, and the pain you tried to bury because it was easier to pretend than to heal. Real transformation doesn't happen when everything is going right. It starts when life forces you to look inward and deal with what you have been running from. Pain is not the enemy, avoidance is. Pain is a signal, a reminder that something needs to change. When you feel broken, empty, or lost, that discomfort is guiding you toward growth. Too often, people want success without struggle, confidence without insecurity, progress without discipline. But rebuilding yourself requires truth. It demands you sit with your weaknesses, your flaws, and your wounds instead of masking them with distractions or temporary comfort. The world will tell you to move on quickly, to stay busy, to avoid feeling too deeply. But healing cannot be rushed. Growth cannot be disguised. You cannot rebuild on top of denial. Only honesty builds solid foundations. Look at the strongest versions of yourself that exist in your imagination. The disciplined person, the confident one, the focused soul who wakes up with purpose. That version is not created through perfection, it is created through self-awareness. Through admitting what hurts, through seeing what needs improvement, through understanding what needs to be left behind. When you allow yourself to feel, to question, to analyze, to accept responsibility, you begin the process of rebuilding from truth rather than illusion. It's hard, it's uncomfortable, it feels like breaking all over again, but this time you are breaking with intention. You are not falling apart, you are carefully removing the parts of you that no longer serve your future. Growth doesn't always look powerful at first. Sometimes it looks like tears. Sometimes it looks like stepping away from certain people. Sometimes it looks like loneliness, silence, and rebuilding routines that once felt impossible. Discomfort isn't a sign you're failing, it is proof that you are changing. When you challenge old patterns, your mind resists. When you step away from old identities, your ego reacts. When you stop settling and start demanding more of yourself, life tests your commitment. But discomfort is the birthplace of greatness. Every time you choose to face your pain instead of escaping it, you rise a little stronger. Every time you hold yourself accountable, you grow a little wiser. Every time you stay committed to becoming better, you move closer to the life you deserve. This phase is not about having everything figured out, it's about being brave enough to look within. To feel what hurts, to heal what's broken, to admit where you need to grow. That honesty becomes your armor. That discomfort becomes your power. And from that internal battle, a stronger, clearer, more unstoppable you begins to emerge. You can only transform what you are willing to confront, and the courage to face yourself is the first true step toward becoming who you are meant to be. Progress is not always loud, dramatic, or visible. In fact, the most powerful transformations often begin quietly, with small daily steps that no one notices but you. Rebuilding yourself does not require giant leaps, it requires consistent movement forward, even if it's slow. One extra page read, one extra push-up, one healthier meal, one more hour spent working on your dream instead of scrolling your phone. These small actions may feel insignificant in the moment, but they compound, and over time they build a stronger, more disciplined version of you. It's easy to get discouraged when change doesn't happen instantly, but real growth is not like flipping a switch, it's like planting a seed. You water it daily, you protect it, you nurture it, and slowly, patiently, something beautiful begins to grow. The truth is, most people fail not because they lack ability, but because they lack patience. They want the result without the process, the reward without the routine. They start strong, but quit when progress doesn't show up fast enough. They forget that every great transformation takes time. Success is built day by day, habit by habit, choice by choice. When you dedicate yourself to small, consistent actions, you build discipline. Discipline creates habits, habits shape character, and character shapes destiny. Each small step is a promise to your future self. Some days you will feel motivated, and some days you won't, but true growth is proving to yourself that you can keep going even on the days you feel tired, unmotivated, or unsure. There will be moments when doubt tries to convince you that your little efforts don't matter. You may look in the mirror and feel like nothing has changed yet. You may feel frustrated when no one notices your progress. But remember, the world doesn't applaud the early stages of growth, it applauds the results. The quiet mornings when you woke up early, the nights you spent learning, the workouts you pushed through, the temptations you avoided, the discipline you practiced, all those small victories are shaping you into the person you are becoming. No one may see your effort today, but one day they will see your transformation and call it luck or talent. You will know it was consistency. Taking small steps also protects you from burnout. Trying to change everything at once leads to failure, because it overwhelms the mind and body. But when you aim to be just a little better each day, 1% stronger, 1% more focused, soon that small growth becomes unstoppable momentum. Even the longest journey is completed one step at a time, and if you just keep moving, you will eventually arrive where you are meant to be. Every drop of effort fills the bucket. Every tiny improvement builds your strength. Even on the days that feel slow, boring, or repetitive, understand that consistency is the bridge between who you are and who you want to become. So keep showing up, keep taking the small steps, keep honoring your goals, even when no one is clapping. One day, You will look back and realize those tiny decisions, the ones that felt like nothing, built a life that feels like everything. And in that moment, you will understand that greatness was never in the leap, it was always in the daily step forward. When you decide to rebuild yourself, not everyone will understand your journey. People will question your changes, your silence, your discipline, and your new priorities. Some will doubt you, some will make fun of you, and some will try to pull you back into the version of yourself that made them comfortable. But rebuilding yourself is not about earning approval, it is about becoming who you were meant to be. In life, you will discover that people have opinions about everything you do, especially when you start growing beyond who they expected you to be. Many will speak from their own insecurities, their own limitations, and their own fear of change. They may call your discipline, obsession, your isolation, arrogance, your focus, selfishness. But you must learn to keep moving anyway. Ignoring criticism isn't about being stubborn, it's about protecting your vision. Not everyone has the capacity to see your potential. Not everyone has walked your path, felt your pain, or understood your purpose. The world likes to judge what it does not understand. And when you rise, it exposes those who stayed where they were. Your growth can trigger discomfort in others because it reminds them of the growth they avoided. People who once cheered for you might suddenly feel threatened by your goals. Others may try to pull you back just so they don't have to face the reality of their own choices. This is why isolation becomes necessary at times, not because you don't care about people, but because you care about yourself enough to protect your peace and your progress. You do not rebuild for validation, you rebuild for transformation. The path to becoming your best self is not meant to be crowded. At times, you will walk alone. That silence will feel heavy, and you might wonder if you're doing the right thing. But understand this: loneliness during growth is not a sign you're lost, it's a sign you're evolving. The moment you choose discipline over comfort, focus over distraction, and purpose over popularity, you step into a different league. That shift will make you seem distant to some people, but that's because you are moving forward while they remain still. Let people talk, let them assume, let them misunderstand. Their opinions do not build your life, your actions do. Every great person faced doubt and criticism before they earned respect. No one applauds in the middle of the journey. Applause comes at the finish line, when the results speak louder than words ever could. One day, the same people who questioned you will ask how you did it. They will call your growth luck, or say you changed overnight, not realizing the lonely nights, silent battles, and sacrifices that made it possible. You cannot expect everyone to recognize your effort while you are still planting seeds. They will only notice once the garden blooms. So stay steady, stay focused, stay committed. Every time you choose to stay on your path, even when the world doubts you, you build strength that no criticism can break. The journey to your best self is yours alone, and when you arise, the results will speak for you louder than any voice ever could. Ignore the noise. Your future isn't built by their opinions, it's built by your persistence. Keep going. Every setback, every mistake, every heartbreak, every failure has shaped you in ways success never could. When you rebuild yourself, you must understand that you are not starting from zero, you are starting from experience. There is a quiet strength in knowing you have already survived things that once felt impossible. The world wants you to believe that falling down means you lost, but the truth is, every fall taught you something. It taught you how to stand again. It taught you who you can trust. It taught you what you deserve and what you must stop accepting. It taught you the difference between temporary comfort and long-term growth. These lessons are not wasted, they become part of your foundation. Your past is not something to hide, it is the fuel that builds your future. Everything you went through prepared you for something bigger. Pain sharpened you, loss humbled you, betrayal strengthened your intuition, failures strengthened your discipline, disappointment strengthened your patience. Every struggle carved resilience into your character. You did not lose time, you gained wisdom. You did not lose battles, you gained strategy. Life didn't break you, it educated you. And when you rebuild yourself from experience instead of illusion, you become unstoppable. Many people quit because they think mistakes ruin them, but those who rise understand that mistakes are teachers. You only truly lose when you refuse to learn. But when you learn, you evolve, and evolution always leads to elevation. There is nothing more powerful than a person who has been broken, learned from it, and decided to rebuild with purpose. Experience gives you clarity. You now know what mattered and what never did. You know who stood with you and who disappeared. You see through empty promises, through comfort traps, through fake support. You are not naive anymore. Life taught you the truth, and truth creates strength. When you rebuild from experience, your decisions become wiser, your standards higher, your boundaries stronger. You no longer chase validation, you chase growth. You no longer try to fit in, you rise by standing out. Most people fear starting over because they forget what they carry within them. You have history, lessons, scars, memories, strength. That is not starting over, that is restarting with power. Think about it. Every time your life shifted, you rebuilt a new version of yourself. You've done it before, you can do it again. And each time, you came back wiser, sharper, and more aware. So don't fear this phase, embrace it. What happened to you did not break you, it built a stronger foundation for who you are becoming. Instead of saying, I failed, start saying, I learned. Instead of saying, I lost everything, say, I gained clarity. Your past is a toolkit, filled with lessons crafted in fire. The version of you that is rising now is built from experience, not hope alone. You are not the same person you were before the storm, you are stronger. And this time, you are building with wisdom, with patience, with humility, and with a deeper understanding of your worth. That is power. And when you rebuild yourself this way, nothing and no one can tear you down again. You rise not despite your past, but because of it. Keep moving. The most powerful chapters of your story are still being written.